Yo, what is going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the You're Still Here podcast. Since August has started, the weather has been absolutely beautiful. Mr. Papa Giorgio, have you been enjoying? You went golfing today, right?
Oh, yeah.
And that makes everyone feel better. I've always said, because I lived in California, I know what it's like to have 70 and no humidity for the majority of the year. And yes, it's great, but then the years start going by. You forget to enjoy the little things. You need the peaks to appreciate the valleys. You got to run uphill to appreciate downhill, that whole thing. I understand, but we got blasted. You know, I saw it was the hottest July on whatever. Well, I think we paid it forward because every single day in August has been unbelievable, and it makes you enjoy it that much more when it's been a nuclear holocaust outside before that. Now, I should theoretically be in a good mood. I should.
Theoretically.
Yes. But I'm not. Because, as I've told you in the past, if there's a major life event, if this whole place started burning down, actually, that would piss me off. But if there was a major event, I actually can keep my cool. Anything that's closer to trivial matters, the things that people say, like, oh, come on, that's no big deal. You know, you gotta get a new pair. Don't let it ruin your day. That's just not how I work. And I want to explain to you, we weren't going to talk about this, but you know, it's on the forefront of my mind. People like authenticity, right? Like, oh, we just want to see, there's so much inauthenticity out there. Well, you want authenticity? I'm right off doing this. So I had a pair of unworn AirPod Pros. So imagine somebody had me a gift, but I already had AirPod Pros, so these had just been sitting around for a year and a half. Well, it got to that point where the AirPod Pros, mine, started to just sound a little worse. You know, if you hit volume up to its fullest, it doesn't sound as high as when you originally purchased them. The classic wear and tear, and I was willing to deal with that. I'm not one of those people who's going to fight, scratch, and claw. You wore it every day for years, and that's what happened, so whatever. So I was going to default to these next pair, these that were purchased for me. And I go to put them on, and there is a loud crackling sound in the right ear. And it doesn't met people. I'm pretty tech savvy. Whatever you're thinking at home, I've done all that. I reset them. I tried using them on separate devices. People are like, well, if you have a lot of stuff on your device. No, everything that could possibly be done, I did it. So I scheduled an appointment with Apple at the store. And I am going to continue to go nuts, but I do. Before I was angry, you obviously think that things are going to go your way. You're sitting there, you're like, oh, this is going to work out. But so you're actually in a fairly decent mood. When I checked in, I was jovial with the check-in person. Now, I wanted to ask them, and I forgot this. You just told me that you've never been to an Apple store.
Never been in one.
Okay, so you get there, they check you in. Okay. You say, hi, I'm Nick Papagiorgio from Yuma, and I do not require any corrective lenses. Vegas vacation fans, you know what that means. So what they do, you made an appointment ahead of time, 12:15.
You go in the store.
Yeah, so you go into the Apple store, and then there's somebody standing there with an iPad, and they check you in. And you say, hi, Mr. Papagiorgio. And they go, okay, can you please wait at that table, 3 tables down?
Okay.
And what they do, this is legend. I know it was true at one point, but now I have questions. They write a mini description of you for the other person to find you. Now think about
I would love to see your description.
Big nosed Scott Baio.
I would say big nosed Yugoslavian man.
Yeah. So across from me, there was a guy. I think I even snuck a picture of him. He straight up looks like a descendant of Goldberg and Stone Cold Steve Austin. Your standard bicked head with a goatee. And I want to know, did they write in that mini description, was the word bald in there?
It should be. I mean, if you're trying to pick someone out of a lineup, that kind of helps. It's like playing the game Guess Who.
100%.
Is your customer bald? Does your customer have a big nose?
Now, you know what I'm getting at. There are certain things you better not put on there. And now, how far away do we get from there? That's acceptable. Like bald, I assume they're going to.
That's fine.
But if that guy, I just watched this show, Dark Side of the Ring, last night. Hulk Hogan filed a lawsuit against this guy, Vince Russo, for defamation because he called him a bald asshole.
Wow.
And the word bald supposedly triggered him to file the lawsuit. So, and that's real. You can go look it up. It's the Bash at the Beach, Dark Side of the Ring episode. I just saw it last night. Yes, crazy. The bald word triggered him. And apparently that triggers Hulk. And it makes sense. He's been wearing that bandana ever since.
Every day of his life.
76.
And Hogan, you big bald son of a bitch, kiss my ass.
I want to know if that guy read his description and it said the word bald, would that guy I was looking at actually be upset? Would most people be upset?
He could probably sue the store.
And if it was our friends, we would be absolutely ruthless. Now, for me, anybody who has hung out with me, or you know how we are, we always love good lookalikes. We always go with lookalikes. Look at Tony Hawk sitting over there. Now, I would put the most absurd descriptions in there, but ones I don't think you can get. The Green Ranger before the green candle blew out in Power Rangers. I would have these obscure references.
What candle?
The green candle.
I just kind of think that actually would be funny. Just seeing what they write. They probably just say if you have anything discernible like bright red shirt, but man,
I'd love to watch the person trying to figure it out who it is.
And I would love to know what they would have put. Like if there's a game, if this was Squid Games, where the quickest descriptions
do you think
keep
Apple,
you alive, you're immediately now pulling out the race card.
Do you
Big
think Apple,
black guy wearing a so-and-so? That's what you're saying.
Do you think Apple's recording those descriptions?
That's a great question, because it's being
that's going to really limit you
when you have your yearly review. We noticed a 64.
Your descriptive words are.
Yes. We noticed you were willing to categorize Asians, but you weren't doing it with other. Like, would you mind describing? Or are you? So I could imagine, those things.
They're terrified,
absolutely. So you're getting generic. Like I'm wearing this shirt. They probably would have tried to go with the Aerosmith shirt or whatever the hell this is. I'm not one of those people like Kylie Jenner who wears $2,000
and never listens to Pantera ever.
I think I got one Pantera, but that name is right in there. You can go Stone Temple Pilots, Pearl Jam, Pantera, really.
Pantera.
Iron Maiden's another.
They love Iron Maiden.
So that was the first funny thought that I'm still sitting there in a good mood thinking, oh, you know what? They're going to see these are defective AirPods and they're probably just going to take them and give me. So now I'm thinking of my second funny thing. And now this is actually when my mood is starting to shift. This guy. So what they do is they take your device to the back to like run diagnostics on it.
Mm-hmm.
So you go, okay, they're going to put it on their machine and see. But the longer it goes, I felt like it was one of those NFL reviews where it's like, oh no, this is
going against me.
We're at 12 minutes, 20 minutes. This guy's not coming out with good news. And that's what I had, the increasing tension of someone who knew that I just lost a challenge. And now the guy comes out. Now, I kid you not, if I gave you this AirPod right now, it's going in the right. He goes, it passed all the tests. He goes, there's nothing wrong with it. I go, that's impossible. It's impossible that there's nothing wrong with it. Right now, if you put it up to your ear, if every single person in this store put it up to the ear, you'll hear the loudest static known to man. And he goes, well, it passed the test. And I literally said this. You guys know my personality. I said, I can break a chair and put it through a random test and say, oh, no, but the chair is completely fine. It's not fine. It's clearly broken, but they're not allowed to listen to it. They're not allowed to put it up to their ear because for sanitary reasons. And I can even understand that. But don't tell me that you can't have any sort of device to mimic the sound that's coming out the right AirPod, where you can clone it and send it to something. It's not even hard. It's just it's a Bluetooth push where you can put it to something else.
Wow.
And they just kept defaulting to the machinery in the back. They were willing to, and they said, and this is an old thing. I go, I just opened it. It's been in the box. So I'm like, clearly look at it. There's not one discernible mark. There's nothing. You got not even the remnants of earwax. There's nothing. You can tell that fresh open. He goes, well, it could have happened in between then. I go, oh, really? So I purchased a Samsung TV, leave it new in a box, and I open it and it's broken. It's like, well, you left it in a box for 2 years. I was livid. And then it reminded me of something that I heard. We all try to convince ourselves, like at some point, I went through some changes.
Oh, yeah.
who you are, man, like, is who you are. I've had a very good 2023. I'm not kidding. There's minimal reasons to complain, but those type of I got loud.
And still I see no change.
I don't yell as in berate, but I make snarky remarks, like it just snide, snarky remarks where I told him that because he kept saying, you know, what you perceive. I go, what do you think? I'm a conspiracy theorist? I go, I'll give you $5,000 right now if you put that thing on and tell me you don't hear an issue. And he goes, well, we can't because of sanitary. I mean, that's very convenient that you could never actually check and see if there's an issue. And I'm just going back and forth. And then I realized that this actually isn't going anywhere. And I left that place. If you've ever watched Game of Thrones, when Daenerys Targaryen sees Missandei beheaded, and that's the moment she goes, I'm burning this whole city down. I left there furious, and I didn't do it. We all have psychotic thoughts. I swear to you, the thought went through my mind. I would never do something like this. I've never done anything like this. I was going to take one of their 2 phones on the fucking bed and just throw it on the floor. The thought just quickly went in there, quickly, and I swear to you, it was there. To just grab it and throw it on the floor and say, oh, are you going to deal? No, it will pass the test though. But obviously you have to be better than that. You have to be more maniacal than that. And if you think that I'm just going to let it go, it's not going to happen. You guys already know. There's something called the scam of the week for a reason. And if you think I tried to do things the honest way, just like texting with girls. I come out with the handshake. It was nice to meet you. I'm not playing any games. You draw the sword playing games. Oh, just saw this next day later. Red receipt. I checked in the preview window. Claim I never saw it. Now I'm pulling out the sword. You pull out the sword saying there's no issue with this thing that's permanent static. Now I'm going to have to pull out my scam. And I can't tell you what it is yet. But on a future episode, I'm going to tell you what I am doing and what I have done and what you can do. Unless I can get in trouble. And then in that case, this is just a comedy podcast, and this is all a big fake sketch that never actually happened. So that is what happened to me. I'm livid. It's being taken care of. I will not, as of right now, yes, the guy had a good round 1.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens at the end of the fight. All right.
Yeah.
Floyd Mayweather lost the first round to Conor McGregor on all 3 judges' scorecard. How did that one end up? Speaking of which, we have 1 month left before we get sports on a weekly basis. But we had a nice reprieve on Saturday. We got together. We watched the UFC, one of the good cards. You know, it was a good one. They're doing the same things like wrestling where, oh, yeah, there's a pay-per-view every couple weeks, every couple months. But then, yeah, all right, well, I'll watch SummerSlam, Survivor Series, Royal Rumble. And this was one of the pay-per-view cards. It had, you know, the 2 main events. And I believe there was only 1 decision, like on the whole main card. It was all... So that was very enjoyable. Main event was good, even though it was quicker than most people thought.
It's all knockouts and tap outs.
And we were talking about, I've always claimed I would never go to a UFC event live. And why is that? Because I feel like if you were to even be in that crowd, or you're even at a bar that's specifically there to watch the fight, everyone is in half fight mode. Like if you see 2 friends, the guy's got them in a rear naked choke in between fights, and they're doing, come on, have your guard up. It's like, you know, fake leg kicks. And it's like that crowd that goes and watches the Fast and the Furious. They're peeling out of the parking lot. They get too caught up in it. I watched the World Cup, and now I'm going into the local park with a soccer ball. I'm somehow going to make a late stage career out of this because I fell in love with the World Cup for a month. That's what I was always worried about. So I said, like, you know, I would never go to that. And I was met with disagreement. They're like, what do you mean? That would be good. There's that one coming up in Madison Square Garden. We should go to that one. I forgot what fight that was coming up. We'd mentioned there's a big fight coming up. Maybe John Jones, Miocic. But you brought up a good point in that. Well, would you go?
Yeah, it depends on where it is.
And that is actually a great point because that event on Saturday was in Salt Lake City.
I would enjoy that one. Would see friends I've seen and.
I feel like, but even aside from that, even if you didn't have the friends there, way less likely to catch that Salt Lake City rear naked choke from the random.
Yeah.
It cut to the audience. And I said, you know what? I would sit in that audience.
Sure.
You're not getting that guy behind you.
Nice people.
Like a Jets game is infinitely worse.
Oh, God. Like you're saying, Madison Square Garden. I don't want to go to the Garden for the fight.
And if you think that's bad, go to like Southern California, go somewhere like San Diego, something like that.
I'm good.
Or then even the ones down in Florida. who the hell?
I don't know where else they have these fights.
Well, the majority are Las Vegas.
Yeah, Vegas.
Vegas can be scary, man.
Yeah.
Okay, people are.
It would be cool to see a
assuming
fight in Vegas because I've never seen a boxing match or something
there
like
was
that
a caveat.
in Vegas.
Bottom section, I will be there.
Sure. I want to be sitting, around all the fighters and
around civilized individuals.
Yes.
Put me with the civilized humanity.
Yeah. Don't
coming
put me
from
in the
a guy,
rafters at the Garden.
Yes, with the bleacher creatures coming from a guy who just nonstop argued with Apple employee along with the manager. So
what are the ages of these people in there? Is it kids? It's all younger.
The employees. I got the one random older man. Wow. This guy was over 55, possibly 60.
That's why he
cared. His manager,
he cared.
I'd say late 30s, something like that. And it is kind of funny, and I hate that they do have to fight with one arm tied behind their back.
Sure.
Because the guy can't. I want to give the guy liberty. Like, no, let it go because I can fight with the best of them. Don't feel like because sir, this is the most. No. Tell me how you really feel, and I'll still take you to town. Yeah. That's what I wanted. I wanted to say, take the gloves off. I'm not the kind of guy that's going to report you to the ethics community.
Yeah, no,
me and you, let's have a thing about these AirPods. You win, I'll just leave. I win, you freaking replace these things and get that damn thing fixed. But I left livid, and we're going to see the results of that. And I'll show.
You're down 0-1 right now.
This is not just me saying this. I can assure you, I took the first step in making this right. That's all I'll say. Hopefully by the next podcast, I can clue you in on that. That wasn't the only bad news that I received. I received word, just like everybody else the other day. I know many of you probably don't know who this is, that Paul Reubens has passed away. If you don't know who that is, it's Pee Wee Herman. Yes, you don't know who that is either. Pee Wee Herman is, I'm trying to think of like a modern day, do we have a character now in society who's legitimately a moniker, but not some TikTok guy, not like the guy who walks around like a monkey from Planet of the Apes. Yeah, there are plenty of monikers, like the guy who drinks White Claw and just goes, fuck yeah, baby. There are plenty of monikers, but it's way different when there's Blue's Clues had that guy Steve, right?
Yeah.
That's still not really a character. There definitely is one on television. There definitely is. So Pee Wee Herman did a children's show back when children's show had like these weird kind of dual meanings where a child can watch it and enjoy it as a kid, and an adult can watch it and you can actually get there's like these subconscious meanings behind things. But Pee Wee Herman was a pretty hysterical guy. And as you can see over my shoulder, they made a movie after the TV show, just like you would see on SNL or something like that. And then there's a couple legendary scenes in it with obviously the Pee Wee Herman tequila dance at the biker bar that you see behind me being one of them. But for me, I've been, I don't want to say closely associated, but I have Pee Wee Herman ties going back a long way because I was able to kind of master one of the Pee Wee Herman laughs. Not the big one.
It's a good one.
But the little one.
Let's make a snack.
So if someone made a corny joke in high school, this was the big thing. If a teacher made a corny joke, I'm trying to think of some of those Mr. Rude jokes.
Goodness.
Who was buried in Grant's tomb? I remember. I don't even know if there's a joke. Everyone would go Grant, and he would go his wife. You know how Rude would answer, just like that sneaky. And then there'd be a pause, and you'd hear from the back. And
that's excellent.
Yeah. So I've been doing the Pee Wee Herman laugh in many of my videos. If you hear quick transition sounds, I grabbed something from Pee Wee, just quick. And it's a great way to go from shot to shot. So it's a little sad. And then he's also in a couple movies that you probably know. Blow with Johnny Depp, that classic scene where they got all the money and they interchange drinks. And then there's a scene, if you have the time, I want you to Google or YouTube Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Paul Reubens' death. It's one of the funniest death scenes ever because it's actually in a dream sequence. She stabs him with a stake and he goes, and he's actually not dying. He pauses and he looks at her to see if she feels bad. He peeks at her, he doesn't, he goes, It's hysterical and fakes his death on the way to the floor. That is definitely worth watching, if nothing else. So, Mr. Paul Reubens. And, I'm not going to say that you did the best thing. Can you enlighten us on exactly, because, in the 90s and even any time a story would happen and there is no Google. There is no, I checked it on Twitter. I checked it on Instagram. It's whatever was relayed to you. So there was a huge barrier. It was the news, whoever gets hold of it, and then how it actually is transferred to you, how they want to deliver that information to you. So the basic thing is, he jerked off in a movie theater. That's the basic Pee Wee Herman.
It was an adult movie theater.
So it was an adult movie theater.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell is that?
I guess they were showing dirty films. Him and 3 other people were arrested on their way out by a surprise police inspection.
First of all, that cop was there on his own. We were undercover just watching filthy porn at an adult movie theater. But still, does this mean you go into a porn shop and there's like a view? I'm sorry, my whole life I never adult movie theater, but I have seen XXX girls.
Sure. I've never been in one. I couldn't tell you.
XXX.
I imagine this is
dance club scene in Eastern Europe.
Double X movies that he's viewing. But he tried to get his way out of it. And what he did was he offered to be Pee Wee Herman for a children's benefit for the sheriff's office, just to, quote unquote, take care of this.
So he bribed the officer.
Right then
and there, like you're about to be arrested?
There, he said, "I'm Pee Wee Herman. I'll do a benefit for the kids if you let this go."
I was being creative. I used my imagination.
This guy must have actually been pissed off enough to the point where, I feel like if that was a girl or something. But anyway.
Maybe.
So he offered up his Pee Wee Herman Children's Services.
Yes, that's what he does apparently, because he tried it also with the Sarasota Herald Tribune in exchange for covering the story, putting it to sleep.
This makes
He's
total
just
sense.
Performing as Pee Wee Herman for people to
what
let
I just
him
said to you. If something happens, then there's whoever decides how that information goes out. So first he tried to cut off the information existing, aka the cop. Then the next best thing is control the one place that's going to disseminate that information and who had access to the story. And I just love that the best he had to offer. What did he offer them? Same type of thing, like a party,
performing as Pee Wee Herman for a benefit for them.
Of all the things that you're going to try to leverage and bribe someone after being caught at, now he masturbated?
He was masturbating.
To himself?
I believe to the movie.
No, I mean like off to himself. Or did he stand up?
I believe it's like a movie theater, they said, and there was multiple people in there doing the same thing.
So you would just go to this place and jerk off.
So you just go and watch, and I guess these cops are expecting people not to, get excited and finish it.
I don't want to sound like a sick person.
I'm sure we already have.
Of all the things, I mean, if he's going to an adult movie theater and he's in a little corner, and what's the difference? He was in a fucking booth. Yeah. He's just jerking off. When people donate semen, sperm, sperm. Yeah. When they do, I think they just send them into a room with porn, correct?
Yeah.
So what the? I don't know, man. On the grand scheme of things, I feel like you don't hear about many of those arrests in 2023. Now, I'm not saying that that's a great indication of where society is at, but you said how long was he hosed in terms of his career?
8 years about.
I mean, the guy went to an adult thing. Was it gay? Was it something that was
say.
No children, right?
No children. Later on, he was. They found some child pornography on his computer.
Oh, now I sound like a piece of shit. I didn't know that.
Later on.
Well, Pee Wee Herman, thank you for the laughs. I am somebody who can, disassociate, those type of things from what you left there on the screen. Just because I can perfect a moonwalk, which I definitely can, doesn't mean that I endorse the personal life of Michael Jackson, and the same goes to Pee Wee Herman. So, Mr. Rubens, thank you for the variety of funny moments that you gave me and a laugh that will actually last a lifetime that I taught to family members. I was teaching everyone. You want me to teach you how to do it? You guys want to learn how to do the Pee Wee Herman laugh in honor of Mr. Paul Rubens? Well, what you have to do is fully exhale so you have no breath. You ready? and now fight out the last little breath. Yeah.
I don't know.
No, you're not far
Not
off.
far off.
Your voice
It
is
like
so deep.
hurts my throat to do that.
Well, I think you're at a crossroads because you have such a deep bass voice, and then you're trying to weasel out a helium
I can't.
laugh. Those are two forces. That's an
And I'm overweight. Can't breathe.
unstoppable force and an immovable object coming together. Me, I guess I can sneak it out a little bit more. That was my advice to you. Maybe I'll make a TikTok video and I'll instruct everyone how to do a Pee Wee Herman laugh, but it has to last 15 seconds or else, nobody's going to watch, because that's what's happened with the attention
He
spans.
also gave us a great name to call one of our good friends.
Oh, of course.
I mean,
And
without
that's
him, there's no great nickname for him.
yeah. Yes. Yeah. We have a friend who's still in our fantasy league. Now he tries to be cool and shorten it up, but it says PW instead of Pee Wee. But you know what that stands for?
We know.
Pee Wee. And now going back to making a TikTok video where people wouldn't even know who Pee Wee Herman was. I texted Papa Giorgio earlier this week because I was getting every single video. And before you say, no, that's just what you must be watching. No, I don't want to see it. If I could hit the 3 dots and say, stop giving me fucking people who are telling me how to do things in life.
It's a scam.
That's a scam.
What a scam that was.
So this was all a scam, huh?
All these people telling you how to do things. Dating account. Oh, do you want to go out find somebody and do this, that, and the other? You want to live a more fulfilling life? Here's what you got to do in 3 simple steps in a 15-second video. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to learn how to live a happier life in a 15-second TikTok video because I listen to you. Who are you? Nobody knows. You have a moniker. You're on TikTok. You're at _, the kind of real Josh Jenkins 14 _. You're going to tell me how to fall in love, live a fulfilling life. Oh, you're going to teach me how to give me another scam thing that you come across, because it's everything. How to
make
gain
money.
followers.
How to gain money. You're going to get rich. You're going to get rich quick doing it this way.
Money, happiness, grow a social.
Oh, big time diet. Big time on the diets and the weightlifting.
Oh, yes. Yep. Forget about
everybody
genetics.
who's anybody is just, the expert on how you should work out and diet.
Everyone's the fullest expert. And I'm not talking about how-to videos. Love how-to videos. You want to show me how to do something? That's definitely relevant in my
I want
life.
everybody
But
to teach me how to cook different things.
that's a beautiful thing because there are
Yes.
tangible results.
Sure.
You follow this, you get this. You have a broken refrigerator, here's what you do, you fix it. But these generic, you got to do this, and you got to not look in the rear view mirror, focus on the front view. All that bullshit, it sickens me that I have to see all that stuff. No, the ones that find me, because obviously for years I've said, still nobody actually tells you, hey, I have an account on social media. I'm trying to make videos, make people laugh. How do I grow to one of these 300,000 account? There still to this day isn't a way. They're going to put hashtag funny videos.
Yeah,
that's going to get you there.
Put funny looking clips.
There's still no actual answer on how to, no serious, yet there are 500 videos. And in none of those videos on TikTok do people say, oh yeah, have good shit. It's all about how can we bait and switch people into having them just, they keep seeing your videos and now they keep you around like that friend who is grandfathered into the group. That's what I've seen so many of them. They make me sick. Like, make sure you post right and DM it to somebody, but then unsend. So now you're in their algorithm. Everything is
It's a scam.
And sometimes I feel bad reaching out to you and asking you to like, hey, can you look this up? Because I almost don't want to, I feel bad sending you in there. Like you're going to come out,
Screwing
with a
up my
disease.
algorithm,
You're going to
pal.
come out. Yeah.
Oh my God, my algorithm.
You're going to come. Yeah, that's funny. It's
You
like
screwed
taking
it up.
somebody's virginity. Like
I've had a friend say that before because all his videos are gambling. It was gambling. It's like, and now I had him look up something for food that he doesn't eat. Totally screwed him up now. Now he can't get back.
we need like a Mars rover. You know how we send a rover to, and we gather information? We need something that goes onto TikTok, brings us the rover. Like that NPC, I didn't want to go in there and have to see that. We need something that extracts what we need to know from that wasteland It's like seeing what diseases are headed our way.
Oh yeah.
That's something that it's probably just called an intern. They'll go down there and fetch what you want to know. But true story, I know somebody who they're seeing someone and they said, well, I saw from someone on TikTok said, if you call the guy you're hanging out with by his full first name, it's meant to be. Meaning, if I call you Nicholas instead of Nick, like if I'm calling you Nicholas, it means like subconsciously. And now she's probably said this to justify some sort of extra liking in her own head because, quote unquote, a guy on TikTok said that'd be the equivalent. Who the fuck is that? Who's the guy? That's like me saying, well, I don't eat any sort of meat on Wednesdays. Why? Because a guy at Shady Acres Mental Institution said, you don't ever want to do that because you're going to be followed by the worst luck you've ever seen. A guy on TikTok's no different than from me going over to Shady Acres and, learning stuff from the ghost.
Would it change your mind if this guy, I know he's not, I'm sure, was like a, PhD, I don't know if you can get these, a PhD in relationship, blah, blah, blah title? Would you then listen to him?
No, I have no fucking respect for those goddamn people. Good mood because of the weather, right? Because the first thing that just came to my mind, and I'll come back to those people, but consider yourself fortunate that you don't scour too much of Twitter during the fantasy season.
Yeah.
Because when a player rolls his ankle, there's a plethora of people who just have MDs on their name and they purchase some sort of lab coat from Amazon, just a Party City costume, and their default is with the Party City lab coat and MD. If anything tells me you're not a doctor, it's that. Because you want to know what generic doctors are? It's just fucking Mark Jensen, and he just has a regular picture of himself, and he's just a guy on Twitter. But these people come out claiming they're all doctor. Everyone's a doctor. Everyone's an expert.
I saw the way it rolled. He'll be back.
Yeah, it's like these people telling you, like, oh, you just gotta go up to a girl at the bar and say, like, I want you. Yeah. Doesn't work if you look like Egon Spengler. When somebody very attractive is telling you this, it's so insulting. So I don't know. There's no way to verify these credentials that somebody says they are. But I know that it's a solid gimmick. It's a solid gimmick. But no, I'm sorry. I don't trust. How many, when you go to your doctor on the way out, they say, hey, follow me on TikTok for some additional advice. No, these are all full gimmicky people on there.
I can do.
You need real friends.
Real advice.
Yes, real advice. And we are no strangers to that. It doesn't just extend to fantasy football. When you have real friends, just like I said, I would be down to get in a legitimate argument with that Apple guy. Gloves off, he doesn't have to hold the chains back. That's what we've done for each other through the years. And sometimes, you know what? Sucks when you hear it right away and you get defensive and you get angry about it. But then later on you learn, okay, you know what? I needed to hear that. I will first tell a story, a quick one, about when we were like juniors in high school or something. I think it was 10th going into 11th grade. Well, somebody who was very cute in the grade older, I had zero to minimal experience of anything at the time. She would walk around the block at the block party. We're walking around the block. And I go to kiss her, and I kiss her French style. And I say that for a reason. Yeah. He's face palming right now, but there's a reason I said it. She goes, whoa, whoa, whoa. She's like, relax with the tongue. So that means I just must have went way deep in there.
Boy.
The rest of my life to today, I've never, ever even remotely I have a fucking
you got scarred. Beep, beep. You went from being the Kraken to no tongue.
Yeah, people under the stairs. The people under the stairs who have no tongues.
You went from a Kraken to the people under the stairs.
Yeah. So I needed to hear that. If she felt bad, felt nice, I'm ruining them. Well, look, I've ruined them in my own different ways, but at least I passed that test. Usually he passes the kiss. There should be some chemistry with my non-lizard tongue kiss. But it was very effective. And similarly, You told me when we were younger, you might be one of the most disgusting eaters I've ever seen in my
The
life.
worst.
And
It hasn't stopped since.
yes,
This is 20 years later. There is no difference.
Halloween H2O, and it's still giving me nightmares, just like Michael Myers did to Laurie Strode. I eat very fast, and something I don't even know. I was told this. I actually eat everything. I've talked about this once. I compartmentalize my. If you give me a burger, fries, and a drink, I eat the entire burger. I eat every fry, and then I drink the drink. Now, one of your criticisms, and fully so, is I eat so goddamn quick. So I'm done, and now I'm just looking at a girl. Their biggest insecurity.
Yes.
It's just me watching a girl eat.
Yes, they hate it.
So his suggestion to me was, listen, did you got it? Oh, and another problem with me, you would always catch me with sauce.
Oh, you got sauce by your eyelids.
So his
brownies, please don't give this guy a brownie in front of me ever again.
So I can't remember if it was your actual advice, but when brainstorming, I know eventually the result was, if I'm going out with somebody, I'm ordering things that aren't wet, not many sauces, very clean things, and preferably things that actually have to be assembled so that they take time. So A, slow me down, and B, minimal sauces and things that can create a mess. Yeah, me and you are not going out for buffalo wings. Let's just say that.
God, don't do it.
So it was appreciative. And you need to hear that.
Because when you eat, you kind of look. You remember that chubby kid from Matilda when he eats the cake and he's got it all over his face?
I'm picturing Augustus from Willy Wonka, the way you described that.
There you go. That's another, that's a perfect example.
Yeah. And it was not
Augustus.
Not great to hear at the time, actually. Who even really cares when you're 16, but you need to hear it. I've seen this with my brother and his friends. They don't help out their own friends.
How many years have I been telling people stuff? You got something in those teeth over there. I'm going to let you know about it. I may crack on you a little bit, but the amount of boogers I've saved our friends from walking around with having hanging out of their nose.
I really am going to admit this from the bottom of my heart. If there was one piece of something that you did before I ever saw it anywhere that I've tried to transition when I can, is when you notice something, you don't just reveal it, you hold it. And then when somebody says the next sentence and they're like, hey, are we going to make it out to fishing tomorrow? Like, I don't know. I guess that all depends on if you're going to clean that thing out of the middle of your teeth. The way you would bring it up like that is straight up, that is your thing. And it is hilarious. The fact that you don't just come out and say it. And you
gotta have fun with it.
Whatever the person says next, you roll the insult into that. And it's just so good.
Makes it a little easier to take,
It's so good. And you need friends like that, kids. You do. And I think it helps in all facets, including like the sports betting videos. People can be pissed at the things that I say, but I know that they feel in their hearts like, you know what, this fucking guy might have lost, but at least I know he believed that and he probably took that team. I'm not driving people.
He's losing with me.
Yeah. There's no mystery here. There are unsolved mysteries, but anything that you don't know, I'm still trying to figure out as well. Just like this goddamn woman that I told you about, or that you probably even know about, Plane Lady. We have to call her Plane Lady. This is something that we were going to talk about when it happened, just to talk about how preposterous it was. Now we can roll what I actually want to talk about back into that. But there was a situation on a plane. If I'm in the mood, I'll get you the audio and the video. If not, then, then I'm trying to paint a picture for you right now. There was a woman on a flight, and she was sitting next to somebody and then had a breakdown, and this is where the video picks up from.
I'm telling you, I'm getting the off, and there's a reason why I'm getting the off, and everyone can either believe it or they cannot believe it. I don't give two but I am telling you right now, that mother back there is not real. And you can sit on this plane and you can die with them or not.
She's pointing at the back, claiming like that person is not real. Like he's one of the lizard people. Remember I mentioned how there are people, there's a percentage of the country who believes that there are I know it sounds ridiculous, lizard people living in Antarctica who secretly control like the Illuminati. Lizard people. Yes. Yes. And this is coming from a guy who has told you for a couple months, pay attention to this UFO stuff. I think it's going to be real. You guys got to watch that hearing. Yeah, so she apparently is one of the lizard believers. And she was claiming the guy wasn't real. He wasn't speaking sentences. It was a bizarre experience, and this girl got kicked off the plane, and it went viral. Now, while I consider that funny, that's well within the realm of all the nonsense that you see out there. Now, I'm not surprised. There's a person who you saw all those Karen videos. You're not that guy, pal. You're not that guy. Well,
I love that guy.
Is that you?
I love that guy.
I love that guy. You're not that guy, pal. You're not that guy. Well, this girl, I can just chuckle at that. What I found fascinating is we are almost a month later. And if you look it up, this girl hasn't been revealed. This girl, this internet, which there are videos out there where a guy shows a corner of a fence. I'm not kidding. Somebody shows the corner of a fence in a random city throughout the world, and another person is able to pinpoint where that is. I'm not kidding, and I'm sorry that I'm speaking off half generalities. I know for a fact there's an account. It's like a Stump the Shop account where a guy shows you a picture of your backyard fence, and somebody can actually figure out remotely where it is, which is a crazy concept. Well, nobody came out and identified this girl for weeks. How is that possible in the world we live? What has happened? This now falls into the, how do you grow your Instagram account? How do you get to these random meme accounts that have 275,000 followers? How the hell did this girl disappear? I told you about the curious case of disappearing influencers, those girls that we grew up with, who were extremely attractive. And they went down that bikini pics, but they aged out of it. I can tell you who a couple people I'm talking about after this, and if you go to find them on social media, they're gone. They're wiped clean. You search for them, none of them are there. They somehow did the impossible. This current internet, where one thing you say, that's it, it's permanently there. They got rid of themselves. And this girl,
I'm surprised.
How though?
Because she got arrested. She had to have gotten arrested when they went back.
So that's gonna get me
So
to where we're at. So if you Google News this,
they got a couple of names for her, but it's just made up. They
there
don't
are
know.
a couple of names, and some people claim they know who she is.
They
But
don't know.
when all is said and done, no Instagram pics, no links to the Facebook profile. Somebody did get to the bottom of it. One person, and it's funny that you mentioned the police. Somebody, I use the term journalist loosely now, but they work at a media company, and they actually put in a FOIA request, a Freedom of Information Act request,
Nice.
to get a copy of the police report, and they were able to confirm the girl's name. However, for some reason, on the mass and I verified, I went to the woman's Substack, looked at the police report, and she works for an actual company. That company would not let them put that out if that was not true. So I was able to see who it was. How is it not recirculated by other people? And you want to know what the answer to that is? She offered up like a Pee Wee Herman type bargain. Or just don't report on this.
Yeah.
Remember I just said before, I don't know if girls offered something, she weaseled out of it because this girl works at a regular like marketing company, and she just went on back onto her life. And I believe she should be able to go back onto her life. She got drunk, started saying wacky ass stuff. But if most people at companies knew some of my beliefs and knew some of my scams, they would want to get rid of me too, probably. People should be able to have a random freak out. If my company saw the things that I said at Apple today, I'd be gone. Who's my company? I'll never be able to tell you. And now go ahead, go on your deep dive, go find it out. The only difference between me and them is I don't give a shit. If I get fired, I'm still complaining about the same things. I just probably have a worse microphone. And that is something that I found interesting. The curious case of the plane lady.
Well, maybe the lizard people handled it.
I don't give two but I am telling you right now, that mother back there is not real.
Unless there's anything that you want to hit up Mr. Papa George on.
Nope, still never going to an Apple store.
Consider yourself lucky, and I went a long time between visits, but just not long enough, apparently. All right, everybody, thank you for coming back. Hopefully you enjoyed this. I think we had some good stuff for you this week. I'll be back with you next week. We're going to have to... I'm taking my classic 1 week vacation during the summer, so I think maybe I'll record 2 and then get one out to you on that week in between. You guys already know this is a potpourri podcast. It's not like we need to see all the events. Although I do want to pay somebody to go into TikTok and find all the things.
Screw up their algorithm.
I was also thinking that yesterday. Is there like a trending website that no, I wouldn't be surprised if there's like a, oh, if you were to do a video about this, it's most likely to get the most engagement. But that would be we would just be lumped in with all the assholes I want to talk about random things. All right, guys, I'll be back with you next week. Thank you for coming back. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast if you happen to listen to it on audio platforms. Remember to watch it and subscribe on YouTube. I put some visuals. I make it more enjoyable. You can kind of see what's going on here. And you can try to read my face. Is this guy lying? Or why don't you take a guess? Like those scumbag Apple employees who were lying to me. And we will follow up on that next week. All right, everyone, take it easy. I will talk to you then. Enjoy this fresh weather.